Salutations, salutations. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa, beginning of Kwanzaa. Appreciate y'all today for tuning in. You already know Mel Kross with a K. Appreciate y'all. I keep waking up or keep getting phone calls where people want to talk about P Diddy, Jay-Z, their situations, everything that's going on. A lot of people want to make mockeries, talk about no Diddy and everything like that, you know what I mean? But I want to get to that, man, because I have a different spectrum and outlook on that, you know what I'm saying? But, before we get to that, man, you already know, man. Hit the intro. Salute. Thanks for tuning in Kross TV Network. That's Kross with a K. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. You already know my slogan, man. I know how valuable time is. I done wasted a lot of time in my life. I did a lot of time in prison. Even on the street, I wasted a lot of time in my life. So I know how very valuable time is, and I won't waste none of yours. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I want to say Merry Christmas. Well, even though it was yesterday, and I had uploaded a shorts, to make y'all laugh. I didn't speak or I didn't say Merry Christmas, but that was a little skit, a comedy skit. I thought y'all would appreciate that little laughter, and that was my way of, saying Merry Christmas to y'all. Also shouting out What's the Word podcast. That's still in effect. It's just at the holidays and everything, a lot was going on. So, but I'm still working on intros, doing certain things on in and out. So when our first real true episode come out, it'll be much different, much polished and, and everything. I just wanted to tune that in to let y'all know that, that's still up and jumping. That wasn't something that I just spoke about and then it just vanished. Something, that's something that's actually happening and, it's going to be a good one for y'all. And I hope y'all appreciate that. We're going to be talking about the real. You know how I give it up anyway. Yo, today, man, I wanted to talk about things I'm hearing about Puff Daddy, no Diddy, and, the stuff with Jay-Z now, coming, which was basically been talked into existence by a couple of people throughout different interviews that I have seen and have heard about, even the ones I didn't see that I heard about, So I want to talk about that, right? First and foremost, I want to say one thing, right? I do not condone rape. I do not condone kidnapping. I don't believe in having sex with 13-year-olds and stuff like that and things that allegedly has been, brought up against Diddy and Jay. Those are real serious accusations. I never hung out around them, so I can't say they did or they didn't do it. As a fan, as a fellow African American, I will hope and pray that they didn't do it and everything that they said was against them was all false, and through the justice system, that they make it through. However, if it's been proven that they did do it, then by all means, will justice be served? Because like I said, I don't condone that. But with Mel Kross, I'm not quick to make a mockery another person or people from the hood that struggle, they family struggle, or descendants of enslaved people that was forced over here from Africa and everything, you know, and they made it out the hood, you know, and I've been hearing a lot of bashing and everything about, you know, Jay and Puff and everything, but when you think about Jay and everything, the Barclay wouldn't be there without Jay. You know what I'm saying? He donated a lot of massive money to New York City, different events and stuff like that, for the government, everything, for the neighborhoods and everything. None of that was never talked about, or none of that was never celebrated. It's like with Jada kissing that song with Albie Al and him, and he was like, you know, celebrate me when I'm on my birthday, not when they murk me, like, you know what I'm saying? So now when people go through situations, you only hear bad things about them. Like I said, I'm not here to defend nobody, but the real thing, what I'm trying to get to is this. Again, if they are guilty, or if they did what they did, by all means, whatever happens, happened. You already know how it is. That's how we gonna give it up. We already know that, right? But sit back and ask yourself one thing. Ask yourself something for one question. Ask yourself one thing. Why all the rapists that raped all of my ancestors, why we never got no repercussions? Why we never got no, why we never got compensated for that? We never got compensation for slavery. Yeah, remember when we was brought over here, you know what I'm saying, beat like cattle, treated worse than cattle? Where women with wives was getting raped, gang raped, beat, sold, and killed in front of her husband, in front of her kids. Where parents watch their children being sold, being beat, being raped, being slapped, being humiliated in front of them. This is the traumas that African Americans in this country has went through historically, through history. Right? Rape and everything, right? That don't have no statute of limitation, right? So they say, right? Things of that rape and everything don't have no statute of limitation, right? So why us as black people is not getting compensated for nothing that ever happened to us throughout history? Let's think about Seneca Village. For those that don't know what is Seneca Village is a piece, a large portion of Central Park on the west side, if I ain't mistaken, between 72nd Street and 78th Street, right? Amsterdam, right? Where 65 or 75% of that area was, even though the term wasn't deemed right at that time, was black people, African American, right? They had houses, schools, churches, their own little community. But because Europe, somewhere in Europe, they had built a big park, or had a big park or whatever, they wanted to follow behind Europe, and they took that land from 59th Street to 110th Street, from 5th Avenue to, I believe, Lexington or Amsterdam, and took all of that and made that into Central Park, a big park. Just took their land, took their property and everything. And then if you look at historical papers, or you go to the museum, or you listen to the history of Seneca Village, they would tell you that these people was compensated. Now let's think about this for a minute. When this country was built, this is before the Bronx and, you know, everything was just Manhattan when this country first started. black people wasn't even considered African Americans or nothing like that. We was looked at as 1/4 of a man. We got to remember that. You know what I'm saying? Look up what 1/4 of a man is and how they try to equate that on us. They looked at us as property. They looked at us as dirt. They looked at us as shit. And they treated it as such. Because when after slavery ended, they didn't even tell us that. We didn't even know slavery ended. That's why we got the holiday Juneteenth. They didn't even tell us that they was free. And they would still continue to do everything they was doing and still continue to, do everything, whatever. We didn't get compensated for that. We got a holiday, Juneteenth. And a lot of people still don't know what Juneteenth or even celebrate it or even recognize the significance, because a lot of elderlies, a lot of OGs do not teach our youth our history. If they know their history, they know who they are. You know what I'm saying? If you know your history, you know who you are. You know who you are. You know who your natural enemies is. You know what you're supposed to eat. You know what you ain't supposed to eat. You know what I'm saying? You'll deal with your individuals more accordingly. I gotta ask myself this, ask yourself this. Why the first so-called African-American president, Obama, he did two things. One, he gave arguably the richest family trillions of dollars for them to start their nuclear system. And we talking about, Saudi Arabia? One of them kingdoms over there, right? Iran, one of them countries over there. You know what I'm saying? They gave him money, right, to stop their nuclear system, right? Gave them trillions of dollars, and they're already trillionaires. Gave them trillions of dollars to stop them from doing the nuclear thing, right? And then, before I say what I say, let me say this. Let me get this out the way clearly. I'm expressing my First Amendment right. I have a voice to voice my opinion. I have nothing against Jews or nobody. I'm just proving the point, and I'm speaking to my audience. I'm speaking to my YouTube family. Okay? With that being said, Obama gave the Holocaust survivors billions of dollars or millions of dollars, I don't remember exactly what it was, for the human atrocity that they experienced. So those that don't know what happened with the Holocaust is, the Holocaust is a human atrocity, a massacre, unfortunately, is a part of our world history that happened in Germany back in like the 1920s. Somewhere in that area. I'm not going to remember exactly the date and everything, but everybody who do know what I'm talking about, where Jewish people, black people, other considered minority groups was placed in concentration camps, and there they was murdered, slaughtered. They was put in gas chambers, they was shot up and killed and everything. Adolf Hitler, who was the Nazi, who was their leader, he wanted to exterminate the planet, of Jews and all these minorities, and he believed in race superiority, and not mixing races and stuff like that, right? So millions of people was murdered during this. So the survivors, so ever since the Jewish Holocaust, have a moment of silence out of respect for the Jewish Holocaust. Let me have a moment of silence for the slavery of my people that happened over here in the United States of America. With that being said, right, us as black people never got nothing. Obama gave the Jewish Holocaust survivors undisclosed amount of money, millions, maybe a couple of billions. I don't remember exactly how much it was. And President Biden also gave them money for the Holocaust survivors. Throughout history, since the Holocaust, multiple different countries, different nations, done gave the Jewish people, the Jewish Holocaust survivors, undisclosed amounts of money since that happened. United States never gave African Americans nothing. No reparations for nothing. No reparations for slavery. No reparations for Seneca Village. Then we look at martyrs. Rest in peace, the young African American Emmett Till, who was murdered because they lied and said that he was whistling at a white woman. So 3 or 4 grown men beat him half to death, tied him in chains, and threw him in a lake. Where he later drowned, they pulled up his battered body, which nobody could even recognize who he was because he was so beaten up. And then years later, y'all find out that people's not guilty, so you name an avenue from them, whatever. That's that. What reparations did we get? Kanye voiced his opinion about something. A lot of things I don't agree with Kanye, but this is not whether or not I agree with what he said or not. But the thing is, he lost his Adidas contract behind that, right? So his once billionaire status got shot down because he lost his deal, because he never had $1 billion in money. You know what I'm saying? His assets and his contracts and everything all acquired to him being a billionaire, right? But do y'all know or know the history of Adidas? Because if people really knew the history of Adidas, they would know that Adolf Hitler, who I just said, who was the leader of the German Nazi army, the ones responsible for the Jewish Holocaust, it's called the Jewish Holocaust, but other minorities like black people, Irish people, other minorities that was there that wasn't the race that Hitler and them wanted, they all got exterminated. They all got the same treatment. But Adidas, when a country first, when a sneaker company first started, they was the ones making the boots for the Nazi army. Now just think about that. Let that sit in for a minute, and then you sit here and think about this. Let your imagination run wild for a minute. These the same boots that they probably was stomping people to death with, marching, running down, snatching everybody, hunting everybody, putting them in these concentration camps and everything. These was the same boots that they was 10 toes down on. And because y'all polished that up, and a lot of people don't know about the history, he said something about it, or he made a comment about something like that, he lost his endorsement. Ain't that some shit? Think about that. They saying that there's no statute of limitation for rape and everything, or all these different cases, whatever. So why there's been no cases or nothing about no reparations? Do we got to start filing ourselves? How do that work? Can we file for ourselves? How do we go about doing it? What was to be the first process? Because all conversations about reprimands was met with halts because other people didn't feel the same way, or how would we do this, or how would they do that. Nobody want to figure it out. But meanwhile, we got African Americans and people that's from this country, that built this country, that's here, that have jobs, and are still struggling in certain parts of the country, especially places like New York City, where the gentrification, where everything is up. Certain parts of New York City studios is $3,000 and up for a studio, even in the middle of a hood. Buses is taking cameras. You pull over because you want to let your girl out. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying, going to help you park or something like that. Let's say for simple, and you stop, and a bus drive by. They're gonna take a picture because you're looking at you double park. That's $115 ticket. You buy a gallon of milk and cheese, that's $10, $15 right there. Everything else is raising. Prices and everything is raising, even in the hood. Minimum wage and nothing not, it's been talked about it. But when is y'all gonna give money to the people? Us black people and us Puerto Rican people that's out here working, that's from here, you know, can't get certain jobs because of felonies. Can't get certain shit, got mad different things that's stopping them. That was designed that way to keep us down. The same working people, the Puerto Ricans and the African Americans, the same people can't even get a loan. Can't get this, can't get that. But yet, people that's here illegally, which I have no beef with, personally, but my beef or my issue is with my so-called country will rather give people that come here illegally food allowances, stay in hotels, get clothing vouchers, when a lot of us is single parent, got a lot of deaths in our family, people in jail, a lot of people out here struggling to just barely make it, can't get no loans, taxes, you fucking them on taxes, they ain't getting their taxes. Like, it's just, everything is just against us. But yet we still spending the most money on clothes, yet we still spending the most money on liquor. You know, one of the biggest things that make the Jews so powerful, respectfully, because I didn't bash the Jews not one time, or you know what I'm saying, not one time during my whole live and everything. I'm just keeping facts, is that they stick together. They live in tight-knit communities. You go to Williamsburg and you go to areas where it's little Jerusalems, even though it's not called that, but when you look at it, even the buildings are built like to look like if they was in their country. The buildings even is built different. They got their own hospitals in their community, got their own police in their communities and everything. Everything they eat is kosher, right? So everything they buy and purchase is from their own. It's from their own. See how you got a lot of people out here, they be flashing money, whether they're scamming, whether they're rappers, and they're scamming, they got a bunch of money. Yeah, fuck you, don't ask me for shit, and don't do this, that, and the other, boom, boom, boom. And that mentality is the reason why us as a people ain't getting nowhere. Because let me tell you something, when you think about them Jews, you look at the Jews and everything, it's a saying with them. Because Jews celebrate their billionaire. When a Jew return a billionaire, it's a big celebration. They celebrate their billionaires. You know why? Do y'all know why? Because every time one of them becomes a billionaire, multiple others automatically become millionaires. And then they just keep going up. As they come up, the ones under them come up, and they just keep going. It's a revolving door. What I'm saying, let me bring it down a little bit on hood terms for those respectfully might not grasp what I'm saying, right? Dealing with economics, right? So let's say in our community, right? I'm from 183rd. That's Fordham Heights section. Fordham Heights section is from Fordham Road to Burnside. From Webster Avenue to Jerome. That's Fordham Heights, right? So let's say just on the 183rd strip alone, let's just say from Jerome to the concourse, that's 1, 2, 3, that's 4 blocks, right? All them stores on that block. Let's say I owned the liquor store. One of my other mans owned the laundromat. I mean the shop. I mean the supermarket. My other man owned the clothing store. My other man owned the nail salon. The other person got the little lounge right there. My other man right there got the legal weed dispensary over there. Everything that you need in the hood is right there in the hood. So everybody in the community is buying in the hood, even the store owners. We got to go to other stores and other places to get certain things that we need. The hardware store, the 99-cent store, the candy store. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, and the laundromat, you know, pizza shop, barber shop, you know what I'm saying? Soul food place. And we have all these things. And everything that we need in the community is owned by us. So everybody in the community, they're giving their money to each other. And then me owning the store, I might want to play the soul food. So I go over there to my man's store. So now he's getting some of my money. The person in the soul food place, he full, he want to smoke. He gonna go to my man weed store and give him the same money that I gave him. See how all that money is touching our hands? Only time that money leave our community is to go out to bring back more resources to give to the community. That's what wealth and how wealth, your resources, each other, could bring richness and money in our pocket in our communities. The problem is us as African Americans and as Puerto Ricans right at this moment, we not thinking about entrepreneurship. We don't even support each other. We're about to sit here and say, no Diddy, and then we'll sit here and buy some Don Julio and be like, Julio! Don Julio is owned by the same people that own Ciroc. The same people that own Johnny Walker. The same people that own Guinness. Do your homework. These are the same people that own the same businesses, bro. Do your homework. Don't let this cloth keep getting put over your head, B. And a lot of times we can't come out with our own brands and do something because they got different ways on blocking us. Like just now, even with the legal thing, even with the weed being legal in New York City. We know how weed became popular in New York. The Jamaicans are bringing it over here. The African Americans and Jamaicans are smoke it. Puerto Ricans at that time was just really starting to really smoke it and whatever, you know what I mean? Then they seen how much money was involved, so then they'll legalize it, take it from under us, and then buy dispensaries where only they could dispense it and stop us from getting involved and even making money for it. For the same shit that you locked us up for. But I can't get a weed dispensary because I don't have the resources. I'm not going to get the loan. There's always ways for them to do things to capitalize off of us. Instead of beating each other, oh, you niggas is broken, oh, boom, 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 boom. Because that shit don't mean nothing. Because the minute you piss one of them off, they taking all that. And we're watching some of the world's financially biggest African Americans in history. And one by one, with their power and everything else, it goes down. In a minute, I promise you, I'm about to stop smoking weed and all that, bro. Because you know why? I'm going to stop taking out my pocket and giving it to somebody that's already oppressing me, that's already in my pocket and taking my money anyway. Because you think about it for a minute, right? Just think about it for a minute. A person makes $60,000 a year. Do you really make $60,000 a year? No, you don't make $60,000 a year. Because every time you get your check, before you even get your check, about 300, I know about 300-400 in New York City is getting taken out your check, especially when you ain't got no dependents. About 300-400 taken out your check real easily. So you did deduct that by how many times you get paid a year. That's what your real salary really is. And then at the end of the year, if they decide that you didn't pay enough for them, you're gonna owe them. So on your return, they might take some more from you and give you whatever they feel like they want to give you. These the same people every day that burn and destroy trillions of dollars a day. Why we can't get along? But we ain't got to pay shit back. If we do get a loan, it might be a 27% increase. So you might pay that loan 3 times, 2.5 times. They find ways to keep in debt. That get the Jews and everything, Jewish Holocaust, right? You give them money frequently through every president, a whole bunch of different countries, right? Respectfully, I don't hate it. I'm not talking against y'all. We already explained that earlier, right? Think about this. Haiti, the Western Hemisphere poorest country, it's been going through a civil war where the native gangs then took over the capital in certain parts of Haiti. And they're massacring thousands of hundreds of innocent people, Haitian people, right? Why none of these loving people that care for human atrocities so much, we're constantly focused on one demographic, one ethnic, one race, or group of people, whatever, for lack of a better term. Haiti ain't never get reprimanded for nothing. They fought for their freedom and won. Then what happened after that? The French had ships surrounding the whole country. Where they couldn't seek no resources from nobody else or no type of help from nobody outside forces. So what happened? The French forced them to pay them for all the stuff they need. So think about how this goes. Whatever natural resources y'all needed in that country that y'all didn't have, the French got it for y'all. Y'all bought it from the French. But you know what the French did? If this cost $10, they charged them $30. So they was charging them basically triple of the prices of the cargo and the stuff that they need just to survive in that country. And they had to pay a debt. But they could have paid off decades upon decades ago. But because they was being oppressed so much, it took them that long. And then look right now, all the poverty and everything like that. Why nobody's donating billions of dollars to help that economy? And guess what else? When the Haitian people, quote unquote Haitian people, overtook Haiti, that's when the United States acquired the Louisiana Purchase, which was, the Louisiana Purchase border was basically from the border of Texas, from the East Coast, all the way up. So all the way to Midwest and West Coast, California, all that was the Louisiana Purchase. United States ended up getting all that land from behind what happened with Haiti and all that. Do your homework. It hit different. I'm telling you, man. Like what Jay Maine said, it hit different, man. I'm giving y'all some real game. So when y'all get locked up or something happened to one of y'all want to be innocent and to presume guilty, right? So why we got the no Diddies and why we got so much slander and why we got all this going on? And if people that know the truth and all that, why y'all just ain't been just saying what it was and whatever instead of just slandering, bro? And those that don't know and just going with whatever's popular to be doing at the time is crazy whack, because that's a person that just don't stay on their own tool, don't have a mind of their own. Because if you did, you would draw your own conclusion, your own opinion. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be forcibly agreeing with somebody just out of the pretense of not wanting to be ostracized or people looking at you different because you're not agreeing with they're agreeing. And if it don't be Jay-Z and Puff tomorrow, it's gonna be another black person. But what about all the other white people? What about all the people, like I said, that did that shit to us? Joe Biden's son just pled guilty to something, then he got clemency. He just agreed to plead guilty to some gun shit and everything. All I got excused, you out of here. Let that shit happen to one of us. Like, wake the fuck up, B. Get up off that liquor and that motherfucking alcohol like that. Don't let that shit get in control of your mind, man. Think and look about the fuck is going on. They don't give a fuck about us. We gotta give a fuck about each other, B. Just think about this. A man stand for nothing but fall for anything. I'm gonna leave y'all with this before I conclude this video, right? Watch your thoughts. Your thoughts could become words. Watch your words. Your words could become actions. Watch your actions. Your actions become your character. Watch your character. It could become your destiny. Let that sink in for a minute, right? You already know. The real is back. We on deck. You already know. Salute to my son, Fat Cat. Rest in peace to my aunt, Jamila. She just passed away this morning. This one was for you. Rest in peace to my uncle that passed away last month. Rest in peace to all of our dads. Let's continue to be long, man. Right now, I'm gonna go try to find me an African-American flag, and I'm gonna put that up there, man, because we're gonna really get to the real. This is what we really need to be talking about. And like I said, this is what my channel always been about. They tune in to Kross TV Network. You already know that's Kross with a K. You out of here.